I am really enjoying Bocchi The Rock. Even as someone who doesn't really watch anime, I am loving it so much that I'm even reviewing it on my other channel. I'll try to remember to link that in the description below, but do check that out. But I had to actually review some of the music on this, my music channel, and what better place to start than track 1 on the Bocchi The Rock album, and the song that most of us would have known as the opening theme tune. It's SEISHUN Complex. Let's get into it. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where, like I say, we're going to be talking about the opening theme tune from Bocchi The Rock. And you know what? I'm actually quite impressed, having looked at who the staff are behind this. We've got the lyricist is Ai Higuchi, which I was not expecting. The arrangement is by Ritsuro Mitsui, who has quite a lot of reputation. He's been on a lot of projects. And the composer is Ota... I feel like I should know that name, but I don't. Anyway, I can talk about what the song is and let you know what I think of their composition. So, first things first, song time. Structurally, this song does what you kind of expect from a theme tune, and that it's a minute and a half, kind of like the old school theme tunes. I love the fact that Japan still has theme tunes that are like a minute to a minute and a half, where kind of theme tunes have totally disappeared in the Western world. I get it, it's something that we have to see every time the program's on, but it also adds a bit of charm. It's that bit where you can get excited because you know, oh, the program are like starting. Yeah, it's all good for that. Anyway, a good theme tune is important, and so you have to cram a lot into a minute and a half. Now, interestingly enough, because this is a song which is from a show which is about bands playing real rock songs, it's structured like a rock song. And some old theme tunes did this as well. You get an intro, a verse, a chorus, and then it plays out on kind of the riff, which is then what leads you into the actual episode beginning. Well, I must say, in this particular case, they did a really nice job of that. The initial riff, when it comes in, is kind of enough to sort of grab you with some little stabs, some little quick jabs to just sort of like jolt your attention. Those first few notes are always so important. You notice from anything. If you're English, everyone kind of knows the EastEnders theme tune. I've never watched that show, but it just starts with a drum roll. Doom, 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 doom. And like everyone recognizes that, even if you've never seen the show. And I'm sure you can think of plenty of like examples of this as well, like the Friends theme tune starting with that guitar riff. There are so many of these. Those first few notes are really important. Now, I must admit the first few notes of the theme tune here are not necessarily timeless, but it is great in that it suddenly jolts you awake. It grabs your attention. It's like, oh, theme tune's about to begin. So that's really good. Then it goes into a verse. Lyrically, I'll talk about lyrics in a minute, but lyrically it sort of builds you up. And then we get a chorus, which is kind of nice because it's anthemic. It's got the bigger held notes, but at the same time, just the chords are going down. There's a little bit of apprehensiveness in there. You kind of get a feeling that it's not overly confident in a way that kind of reflects the character. I also like that in this we have a lot of guitars sort of playing a lot of the time, as you'd expect, but the guitars, very much in keeping with the whole Bocchi The Rock sound, are not overly distorted. In fact, they actually sounded a lot like Asian Kung Fu Generation guitars, which if you've been following the whole anime in question, you'll know Asian Kung Fu Generation is a big influence behind a lot of the references we see in Bocchi The Rock. So it felt like it had that kind of edgy indie rock feel to it, but at the same time delivered enough to have a big chorus and enough intensity to really keep you flying, and right through until, like I say, it finishes with that final run around on the riff and then just ends suddenly. I love that clip. I'm not talking about the video right now, but I love that clip when the guitar falls down, just boom. So anyone who loves guitars, just looking at that and you get a sudden heart attack and then, oh, the episode's begun. So, structurally, really good as a theme tune. Now, I do have to talk about the lyrics because, of course, the whole narrative structure is very important considering this is a theme tune, and especially considering it's a theme tune to a show that is so intensely based around the personality of one lead character. Now, I must say, the lyrics came up on the screen when I was watching the anime. The first couple of episodes, it was there, and you immediately get the feeling for... It's very intense when you're packing a lot of feeling into a minute and a half, but... as I kind of got the idea for what's going on here, it really felt like the lyrics were reflective of the sort of lyrics you're expecting for Bocchi to write. Sorry, I know, I always get confused. Should I call her Bocchi or should I call her by her real name? Anyway, so Goto-san's lyrics. I mean, it sounds like, you know, it is that feeling of there's a lot of intensity, a lot of darkness. It almost goes into an emo place, but without getting too dirgy. Obviously, the tune's quite energetic, upbeat. It's that whole feeling, as I get the feeling the anime is, it's the sort of juxtaposition between the more cheerful members of the band and the darker sort of feelings that are maybe coming from her, the sort of slightly more, well, the less joyful aspect that comes from Bocchi as the lead character. But what was interesting is when we get into the chorus, I say the chorus goes into a semi-anthemic place, and that's where we get kind of the more the more sort of blasted statements. I mean, looking at the lyrics here, like, for example, she says, I want to start a revolution, ring out, but then the forte of grief. So it's kind of like I'm starting a grief revolution. So yeah, it was like, what should I do about the super wild and ferocious, the real me? And that's what I get the feeling the whole anime is. Don't spoiler it. I'm only a few episodes through. You can follow it. Like I say, on my other channel, follow with me. But it seems to be about her trying to mix this person who wants to be loved and be seen by the whole world, mixing that with a person who is scared to open up to the whole world. So yeah, I think as a theme tune goes, the lyrics seem to nicely sum up what appears to be the whole tone of this in quite a dark way, but then again, the anime seems to laughingly and jokingly play with dark themes quite freely, so yeah, that's in keeping. Now, as I say, I am not so familiar with anime, but I do know there's this thing about replacing anime theme tunes on a really regular basis. Like every season they change the theme tune. I kind of hope they don't, in a way. I think this is a nice theme tune, but then again, at the same point, someone might do a better job if they do. Overall, and I don't know, are we even going to get a second season of this? Who knows? The point is that I felt that this was, okay, it's not a timeless theme tune. It's not one of those ones that's just going to be like so instantly recognizable to anyone that you just immediately go, oh, the Bocchi The Rock theme tune. But at the same time, it's one where when you're watching it, it does the right thing. It comes in with like an impactful stab that just suddenly grabs your attention. It builds up the feeling through lyrics. It blasts with a good chorus that sort of makes you feel energized, hypes you up, and then ends in a nice sudden way that throws you into the episode. Yeah, it's just great. So in conclusion, I would say that, okay, is it a timeless theme tune? Well, especially from a country where every single thing on TV seems to have a theme tune and every single musical artist has done a theme tune, it's a very hard thing to expect anyone to do. But is it very good, definitely worthy of being on a really great anime as this appears to be? Does it seem to be something that I am happy to listen to at the front of every episode? Yeah, it's good. It encapsulates the feeling. It's well played. It matches the mood of this whole sort of band thing. It's got an indie feel. It's got a bit of intensity. It's also got a bit of an anthemic nature to it that makes it memorable. It's just a good example of a functional and yet kind of infused with personality kind of theme tune. Now, anyway, if you guys would like me, like I said, I am reviewing the whole anime episodes. Go follow that on the channel's called Lyric Learner. If you stayed this long and you still can't find it, type in Lyric Learner, Bocchi The Rock, you'll probably find it. If not, go onto the banner for this channel. There's a link and everything. You will find it somehow. You will find it, I promise. However, if you want me to review the rest of the songs on the Bocchi The Rock album, do please tell me and I'll go through them. But anyway, for now, from here in Japan, I'll wait for your comments. And until I hopefully see you very soon, ciao, ciao.